Hey everybody, how you guys doing out there? What's up, what's up, what's up? Yeah, I'm doing that whole How you guys doing out there? It is I, Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer. Man, I gotta get my hair together. What is going on, everybody? What is up? How you feeling? First off, I got a real quick announcement to make. You might hear a humming and a buzzing behind me, and that's fine. Primarily because, well, how can I put this? That humming and the buzzing behind me that you're hearing is one of my machines actually working, okay? I've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. So, unfortunately, with all the prints that I've got and all the, what's the term? The machinery problems I've been having, I haven't been able to start a print, stop a print, do the show, and then start the print all over again, especially with the calibrations. I'm like, ooh, man, this is just terrible. So, I apologize for the buzz in the back. I hope I don't get that same, will you quiet? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't get another comment stating that, oh my God, the sound gave me cancer. You know, that was actually a thing today. So, welcome to the Hobby Hall. All right, this is Friday, and this is sort of casual Friday. You know, the one day a week that I might wear a different shirt. I know y'all are used to seeing me in that wine-colored turtleneck and everything, but you know, sometimes I gotta show people that I have more than one outfit. This is the show where we make toys, or we go through toys, or we do a lot of different kinds of stuff that at the end of the day, it comes down to, well, how can I put this? It really comes down to, we talk a lot about life, we talk a lot about games, we talk about, you know, we talk a lot about putting stuff together in games, but we don't really show a lot of games being played, and I'm working on that. I'm working on that hard right now. The Hobby Hall is a little harder to do than I originally thought it was gonna be. So I'm working on that. I really am. I'm working on that. Hey, Impossible Adventure Pub. What's going on from Joburg? Oh my God, I love it when I get my international deckers in here. So today I put in the description that we're going to use modules and compiling things from modules in order to make your game a little better, a little fuller, you know, little things. I am a big fan of modules, really big fan, primarily because I learned. That is how I learned how to GM and how to play from modules. So that's the thing. But before we get started, before we really get into this, I got the regular old announcement. So if y'all got any questions or suggestions for what we might do on Hobby Hall, send me an email at backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on the social media that we all have, although nobody likes it. Everybody complains about it, but we all still have it because we're trapped. We're so trapped. And that is Twitter and Instagram, of course, on the same thing. So, along with our TikTok, because yeah, it TikToking, and that's where you have the puppets and put out the show announcements and all that other jazz. So that's all good. Now, this is me begging. It's begging time. You know, a lot of people are like, do a call to action, because you know, doing a call to action, but what it really comes down to is begging. All right, that is what I'm doing. And that is what, and I got no pride when it comes to stuff like this. So this is me begging y'all. I'm begging, please, 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 please subscribe to the channel on Twitch. Please subscribe to the channel and share all the YouTube videos. That's right. We are live on 2 platforms right now. There's finally been enough good stuff and good, what's the term? The software is finally caught up with a lot of the stuff that I've been wanting to do. So please subscribe, share. On one hand, I really want the community to grow, and that's what's important to me. But on the other hand, I gotta pay bills, y'all. Real talk. In order to do the stuff that I want to do and y'all want me to do, the internet will cost about $230 a month over here, and I'm already having a hard time paying it at $100 a month. So it's real talk. So subscribe, share subscriptions, all that. Thank you guys for being there. And if y'all are really up for it and y'all want to help out and all that stuff, hit me up on the Patreon. What? You got a Patreon? Yes, I got a Patreon. All right. And that's over at, if you're watching on Twitch, you can scroll down and hit the big button that's marked Patreon. And that'll take you to patreon.com/BID_P. And for $5, $10, $1, you and your friends can make sure that we stay on and we keep doing it. Now, here's the thing. We have 3 big tiers, and it's like, oh man, those tiers are expensive. Look, I know, but hear me out. Those tiers primarily go not to paying my bills, but to pay for the materials that I need for the community outreach stuff. We're talking the bows, the arrows, the fletching stuff for the kids that we're teaching archery to. We're talking the safety gear for the sword fighting kids. A shinai is one of those bamboo swords. Those are $20 each. And I need to buy and maintain 10 of them at pretty much any time to make sure that they're all in good working order. And the helmets are like $100 per helmet, and I need a minimum of 4 at any time to make sure that the kids are taken care of. I don't mind getting hit in the head with a stick. I grew up in the hood. That's what happened. My mom would pretty much hit us with sticks. That's the whole thing. Not to mention the 3D printing. We do set up 3D printers in public places, in disenfranchised areas, to show the kids how to use them, how to maintain them, how to design for them. We give them all the software, and we give them the role-playing books, and we try and make sure they have pencils and paper and stuff. And we're just doing our best to make sure that those people that generally don't have access to the things that we love can keep doing it, all right? Or more to the point, can get into it and do it in the same ways that we can without going through all of the complications that we did. Okay, so that's what the Patreon is for. And seriously, so the higher tiers on Patreon, that goes to the community, and the lower tiers goes to me paying bills. So that's me going, please help me do this. Another quick BidP announcement and all that. I've been talking with one of my mentors and my therapist, and it looks like I'm going to be getting into life coaching. And someone said, your channel and the stuff that you do with people and just the stuff that you do with retirees, trying to get them to remember who it was they were before they had kids, before they dedicated their entire lives to working, and helping them enjoy their lives now that they're not committed to working for a third of their life and sleeping for a third of their life. So I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll look into it. I'll take a look at how it's going. I'll give you guys information and stuff, but considering what I do here with you guys and with the community outreach, and I want to work with some of the parents as well. So it looks like I may as well just do it. Not to mention, without the followers and the subscribers and the subscriptions, I got to find a way to supplement income. I'm going to try and keep doing this 5 days a week. Okay, I want to be here with you guys 5 days a week because I love you guys. And yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, seriously, I'm not down with paranormal relationships. I try and get to know every subscriber and every patron on a personal level, which is why in one of the Patreon tiers, it's like an hour stream session just or an hour video call with me to talk about your games or your life or your relationship stuff. And I'm like, yeah, may as well. I'm already life coaching. So I may as well find people out there that'll pay me for just that, so I don't lose my place to live and I can keep living in coffee. That's where we're going with that. Next part. So let's see, I did all those announcements. Cool. I'm gonna fade to black because this is gonna be good for YouTube. And yeah, I'll be right back. All right, Deckers. Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? So, today on the Hobby Hall, I put out the announcement. Like I said, we're going to be using modules and using compilations from modules to help give our games a little extra oomph. All right. Now, before I get into that, though, a lot of people would like to know what it takes to be a dungeon master or a game master, and there's a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of stuff involved. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of writing, okay? And with that, with the reading and the writing, that's a lot of research, all right? That's a lot of outlining, a lot of, the way that I GM is, I don't quite think of, I don't think of a choose your own adventure novel. I like sandbox gaming, but when you put stuff in the sandbox, you got to make sure that there's something for people to do for every probable decision that they might make. So I have a lot of flowcharts. Now, I don't recommend this for new GMs, okay? Because you really have to understand how gamers think, what habits they have as gamers as a whole, and you have to understand how the group that you're GMing behaves. All right. So that's a big thing. That is a really big thing. Some groups are dream groups that just take whatever story hook you put out there and run with it. Others are like, well, I want to go do this and I want to go do this. Ooh, look, something shiny. I'm going to go lick it, kind of thing. And I tend to GM for a lot of neurodiverse people, which means I have to be prepared for a lot of tangents, okay? And how do I do that, you ask? Now, do I sit in a meditative stance on top of a mountain going, they're gonna ask about the keychain that the NPC is using, so now I have to write a backstory? No, I don't do that. If I did, I would never actually be able to live stream or eat or sleep, because the 21st century has the internet, and the internet has a whole bunch of social media, forums, streaming channels, YouTube channels, pre-recorded videos, and a whole lot of blogs, which gives so much. It gives so many ways that people can tangent in the middle of a game. So what do? Well, I look back on my years of experience from when I was a young boy, and I think about all of the modules that I used to sell when I worked at game stores, all the modules that I read when I worked at game stores and when I would just hang out at them, and all of the different modules that I saw on the walls. And I'm like, wow, each one of these is a game adventure. Like, this thing right here, okay, which one is this? Minions of the Shadows. Yes, I just happen to have one in arm's reach. Now, this is for the game Midnight. This was 3.5 D20 in a world where the bad guys won, and it's grim, dark, D&D, and I checked it out because I had to, I read Ravenloft and I ran Ravenloft, and back then there were like Scarred Lands and Dark Suns and a lot of really dark settings, and I had to know one or two. And one of the writers pitched Midnight to me as Lord of the Rings if Sauron had won. So This is the world where the bad guy rules. I'm like, okay. And I checked it out. I found it compelling. I picked up a couple of modules. Okay. Now, when I talk to new gamers and they ask, like, what is it like being a GM and all that jazz? I'm like, it's real simple. What you do on the dinky-dinky-doo is you create a module or you create an outline for a story. And when you create that outline, you have your friends create characters for the outline that you've put together. And what did you do? Oh, yeah, look at that. After you have your people put together the stuff that they want for that, well, all they got to do now is play the story that you have set up, but they are under absolutely no obligation whatsoever to adhere to the plot that you wrote, okay? But every module comes with, a couple of things. Cute Neon, are there rules for punting hobbits? That is in every single, that's already in every single combat system that there is. Punting hobbits and tossing dwarves, that's already there. All right. Speaking of Neon Arlecchino, who is in NP City? Hey, thank you, Lid Server. Sweet. Thank you so much. We got a follower. If you subscribe, I do the little dance. So what's going on? How you doing? Action Shin, Black and White Now in Color, Butter. Oh, cute. Yeah, I'm not saying that name on this channel out loud, but I know who you are. Bottom Sore. Impossible Adventure Pub, what's going on? Give everybody in Joburg that I've met that a hug for me. Insinkable, Neon Arlecchino, Tenerife, and Vixabel Cosplay. And not to mention, I never forget Clever Little Vixen holding it down like gravity. So, with all that, so yeah, let's talk about what a module is when it's in print. Generally, it's broken up into outlines for chapters. So it's like, okay, once your players get to this place, these are the animals that's around. This is what they can run into. Roll a die to see who pops up, where they pop up. This is what they're looking for. This is what the environment looks like. And this is what happens when they leave. All right. So yeah, it really is that simple. But when you write a module, you have to ask yourself the question, is this module meant to be done in one session, or is this a campaign going across a lot of sessions? Let's see here. What I have here, this right here is a module. This was supposed to be a one-shot by John Brazier Enterprises, and this is 10 pages deep. Okay, 10-page module. Both sides of the paper, but it's 10. It's 10 things deep, and it has all of the main bad guys, the main NPCs, the monsters that are going to be fought, and what happens when they get to X. And I love running through that. Now, if players don't want to follow the outline, then what do I do? Okay? Well, I've gone through so many modules over the course of my life. I can pull something from a module from my past. Now, since this is a nerd channel, I got good news for you. Ready? Every comic book, every singular issue of the comic book can count as a module. Okay, every singular issue. What happens in this issue? Which means every 30-minute episode of one of your favorite cartoons can count as a module. And this is where I talk about compiling stuff from other media, okay? Now, this is a huge revelation. And, what is going on with my stream here? Because, yeah, this is going pop, pop, pop. Okay, yeah, that's working over there. Looks like it's working over here. I don't know, sometimes Twitch is just a little weird. So like I said, this is all the stuff that we've got. Now, you can buy modules from so many different places, but the one I wanted to talk about is one I covered a couple of months ago. And this is from a company, especially now that, yeah, I don't know why either. This thing is owned by Amazon, so I don't know what Bezos has the thing out there, but, actually, when you resubscribe with Prime, you'll have the option of share your resubscription, and that might be what you're looking for. Because, yeah, when it says share, then it'll pop up here, and I'll be like, yeah, we're doing the dance. So, but yeah, no, I'm serious. I don't do the dance unless, people do the thing. Also, if you guys have noticed, I look different. There's a different color thing. I found that my settings inside my streaming program was just a little odd, and I'm like, why do I look so green? I don't like looking this green. Looking this green is bad, okay? Oh my God, look at all green. So I was able to turn it down, and yeah, we can do all that. So I talked about this a few months ago, and this comes in from Steam Forged Games. All right, now this is a company that I really, really like. They first hit the scene with Doggies and Dragons. Okay, yeah, Doggies and Dragons, where it's D&D, but every character is an anthropomorphic dog or cat. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cute. A friend of mine picked it up because he's got a Kickstarter addiction. But also on this one, they released a thing that I just fell in love with. And these are epic encounters. Oh my God, these things are awesome. Okay. And an epic encounter is essentially the next phase in 5th edition modules, and I am loving them. Okay, loving them so much. All right. Like I said, when I was a kid, a module was literally looked like this. All right, and they wanted maybe $10 for it, and that was fine. That was cool. It was like, yeah, $10. There you go, because you can play the module. You could play the module multiple times. Okay. And when I say that, you could run through the module with your friends and then have them make completely new characters, and run through the module again and see how they do and all that stuff. I don't know if they did the steampunk ball. I can check, but we'll talk about that at a different time. But thanks for putting it on my radar. But this thing here, it's on sale on Amazon for like $35. And today, we're going to do a serious unboxing of it, okay? Because I picked it up. And when I was in Vegas, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a store having a bunch of them on the shelves, and I'm like, wow, I just got paid. I'm gonna pick up one. No, I haven't run the ones that I have yet, and I'm an older gamer, which means I have to show discipline because I'm running out of space. I don't have the space to do what I want. I need the space. So let's see what we can do and head on over to the hobby hall, because I want to talk about this stuff and really put it out there, because I'm a big fan, a really, really big fan of what we got over here. So let's head on over to the hobby hall. Sorry about that, guys. I had to do a thing real quick. Because, yeah, that became an interesting thing. I had to, well, in a nutshell, I had to move a thing to the other side. So, yeah, but that's okay. I have it over here now. And, yeah, I just had to make sure that I could keep interacting with you guys. Okay, so let's oh yeah, let's head on over. I'm having a little bit of a problem changing things up, but we'll be with that in just a sec. If I lose transmission, just bear with me and I would be back in a minute. Okay. That looks like it's working. Julio Iglesias. Nice. Okay, guys. Yep, looks like I'm here. And all right, now I can see you guys in the chat. Cool. All right, I hope you guys can hear me. So, let us, yeah. All right. So, oh yeah. I keep forgetting to put the Discord stuff up here, so there we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Looks like everything's going. So yeah, this right here, Epic Encounters. Now this one is the Hall of the Orc King. And like I said, this little thing here is going for, God, this thing is going for $35 right now on Amazon, or $36 plus tax and all that stuff. And believe me, this is worth it. Number one, let's see what we get. Ha ha. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Now, as we open this up, boom. Okay, we get our module in and of itself. Okay, this is really important. We get 29 pages. All right, and let's take a look. Now, one of the things I like is that these things have a before you start type thing going. Epic Encounters are divided into 3 tiers of play, making them suitable for as many different player groups as possible. The damage level and difficulty class, or DC, of each check is specified during the encounter, is broken into 3 tiers. shown on the table below. Whenever the text calls for a standard DC check or specifies that the creature suffers standard damage, refer to the appropriate box below. Let's see. For example, if you're playing at lower levels, like 1 through 5, you would take the standard damage, or 1 through 4. So difficulty check would be 12. See, can you guys see this here? Difficulty check is 12, and the damage levels are D4s. That's it. That's really important. You know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, look at the good art and all that stuff. And this is stuff that you would have to read as the GM, such as we have our plot. Oh, the Grim Fang Orc King dwells in the mountains in an underground kingdom claimed in blood and slaughter. And then we have little checks for the GM notes, like the Orc King cannot die. He can be broken, bloodied, butchered, but his soul returns eventually. That is pretty awesome, okay? And now we have the approach. All right, this is the stuff that we do, and we roll a d6 to see what kind of weather we got. We have what the little map areas mean. We've got the people that are there. So all of this stuff is in the book. This is like the instruction manual, and it is awesome, okay? Next, we have our map. And this is a double-sided map that comes with it, and it's already gridded in circles. We have the approach to the Orc King, King's Hall, and then we have the inside of the hall, you know. Oh my God, Grundle's coming. Stop partying so loud. And this is what kills me. Now, I've already started, okay? I haven't finished painting, but we get 20 miniatures on this thing. 20 different minis. All right, this is really what took me over. These things normally go for $50 each, right? But 20 minis for $50 comes down to a little under $2, or a little over $2 per miniature. Okay, but look at these things. Okay, now this is a spear orc. Go ahead and focus. That I started working on with my contrast paints, and it's like, look at me, I'm an orc. And the detail on these are awesome. This is me using like 3 different contrast paints. You know, we got our orc archers. Look at these. I'm an archer. Harbor. Look at me. I'm an archer. And, you know, they got their arrows on the back. And, of course, love this guy. This guy is a little cook. All right. He's got his little meat things right here. Like, hey, look, it's a ham hock. He won't let me have my ham. I miss my ham. And, yeah, you know, now if you guys are noticing, I am not a really big painter and all that stuff. Cute. Yeah. Thought you fixed having a lot of green on the screen. Get back under your bridge, Neon. But yeah, so this is some really fun stuff right here, and I'm really digging, like, in here, you know, we got our little thing with a bunch of whatever it is he's cooking. You know, might be The Rock, you know, because The Rock does cook, and he is in cooking. And yeah, so we got those going. We got our super muscle guys. All right, super muscle. Look at these. Oh, I'm muscle. Look at me. I got a big old morning star on a stick. I'm an orc. All right. 2 of these guys, and the ones that made me want to buy this set. That's right. We've got archer orcs riding polar bears. What? What? And we get 4 of these things? You know, 4 of these things for $40, that's worth the cost right there. Yeah, and these things, I mean, I'm not sure how well it's coming out on the camera, but oh my God, just look at the deets on all this. The detail here is just awesome. You know, we got, yeah, it's armor. I was thinking about making it like a turtle, but that's like too much green. But yeah, we got orcs on polar bears. And yeah, if you're wondering if I use these for one-page rule Age of Fantasy, yes, I do. Now, this guy, who I haven't started painting, okay, and this is kind of what they look like when you first buy them. All right, they're made out of a really plasticky resin, which I dig. This is the Orc Shaman. And of course, just double checking the back here. Because, yeah, is it? Ah, yes, here we go. And this is the man himself, the man, the mystery, the level. Grimfang, the Orc King himself who cannot die. He just keeps reconstituting. I am Grimfang. Arrgh. Have I started painting him? No, because I want to make him look really cool. And I've been painting other miniatures in what tiny bits of spare time I have, just to make sure that my skills are up to par. Now, this whole set is based in the snow-capped mountains, but there is no reason that you have to keep it there. All right, what we have here are, I see a wilderness with 6 of Grimfang Orc crowd around several large holes in the iced over river, trying to entice one of the giant eels up to the surface for tonight's feast. So yeah, what we have at its core, I like to deal with absolute values, is with that little thing right there, that could be a forest, and he could be standing on a bridge trying to get one of the shrieking eels to come up. What? Yeah, those are the shrieking eels. You know, let's see. 2 of the orcs and 2 slaughterkin orgs, hammered in battered armor and blunt swords, trying to render them ready for battle. So yeah, just right over here, we've got our little encampment. And this doesn't have to be on top of the snow-capped mountains. Okay? And then when you enter the hall, you got other things. So I have one nature thing when people are traveling from one place to another, and then once they find what they're looking for, this is what can happen when they're there. All right, now the adventure itself is not very long. Okay, we are looking at 20. No, wait, where does the adventure officially start? Let's take a look. Okay, this adventure officially starts on page 9 and wraps up at page 20. Okay, we've got 11 pages of stuff happening. And again, the rest of these are the stats, or the stat blocks for all of the monsters that come in the box. Okay, the Grog Master, who fights people with spiked beer cans or spiked beer bottles, the Slaughterkin, the Gladiator, the Orc King himself, the Shaman. What do the bears do? Bear. Let's see. AC 12 natural armor, 42 hit points, plus 5 strength bonus, plus 6 or plus 3 constitution bonus, and let's see here. What do they got? Advantage on perception checks that rely on smells. Multi-attack. The bear makes 2 attacks with his 1 bite and with his claws. And yeah, that's the bear, and then the orc on top of it. So this thing gets 3 attacks. Now, according to the chart here at the beginning, if it's a lower tier, it only hits with a D4. All of its attacks are D4s, you know? So that's pretty much how these work out. I love these sets, all right? I really do. But with this module, I can pull out the bear, you know, I can just throw one of these at any player in any of my games whenever there's somewhere that a bear would be, okay? Or I can look at this and say, you know what? It's a thing riding a jackal, but it's right there. And if you guys watch any of the streams, you guys might notice that I do a lot of random encounter checks when my party's traveling, okay? We've got our boss. We've got our underboss. We've got an encampment in here that already has a map so I can answer any questions. All right? And this right here is fantastic. I mean, since this thing is on sale for $40, dude, and that's after taxes, I can let you know that this thing is more than worth it just for the minis alone, guys. This is a lot of content for that, and with that content, I can, if I so choose, take so many pieces out of this. I can use the map for something. I can use the orcs stat blocks for something. I can take a plot point from here and throw it into another story. Bear. Okay, guys, I get it. I know. I was just as jazzed about these things coming on bareback. I mean, that was, honestly, orcs riding bears, that is 5 stages of amazing. And there are like 4 sets like this. And yes, Neon, there is a set of these for kobolds. Okay, let's head back to the Wizard's Tower, and we'll go through some of these things, and we'll talk about some of this stuff. All right. So, we're back. Okay, guys. So yeah, there are so many of these sets out right now that I am just like, dude. I love the crap out of these sets. All right. Primarily because with these sets. All right, there we go. Primarily because with a lot of these sets, I get so much content. And that means a lot to me. That means a whole lot to me when I'm essentially playing the games that I need to play, or putting together campaigns. Like a lot of people are asking, dude, you run 4 to 5 games a month, okay? 1 game every Wednesday, 1 game every other Monday, another game like once a month, and all that jazz. How do you do that stuff? And the thing is, I've got shelves of one-shots and modules that I can pull stuff from, and since I've read so many comics and I'm not as media savvy as the average 10-year-old, but I know a thing or two. I can pull stuff from different places and come up with different things. Now these epic encounter things, oh my god, look at these! There's so many of these things. And again, I am a really, really big fan of what's available here. All right, and I mean that. Let's see. Caverns of the Frost Giant is a real one. And again, this is like $35, but yeah, this is the follow-up to Hall of the Orc King. All right, and it only comes with 1 model, but look at it. Oh, do we have? Yeah, we have it painted. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh. Look at the way that this thing looks. I mean, seriously, this is some epic stuff. That's an epic paint job. Okay. We've also got I can already hear Neon Arlecchino, going, oh, blah blah. Here we go. Shrine of the Kobold Queen. All right. And this little guy comes with all this stuff. All right, let's see if we get yeah. Oh, that's the queen. That's that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look at this model. All right, that is. Oh, that is super awesome. All right, let's see what comes in this. This comes with. Nope, nope, nope. New and experienced players. Blah blah blah. Let me see the back of the box. In the back of the box, we get 20 minis. Look at all those kobolds. Okay, kobolds everywhere. Alright, so this should tickle your fancy, especially for 35 bucks on Amazon. I mean, really, this ain't rocket science. Okay, this isn't rocket science, guys. So yeah, this is some of the stuff that I would use, okay, because each one of those books are like gold. But when you're being a GM, all right, and this is really important, okay? When you're being a GM, a lot of people think they have to come up with stories out of nowhere, whole cloth, and that ain't the truth. That ain't what you got to do, okay? Because when you're trying to come up with stories whole cloth, that is so much pressure that is on you to do the stuff right, and you know it comes down a lot of the times to people looking at your game going, wait, you just stole that from this thing, that ain't original, blah blah blah. Hey, what's going on, Tyler? I'm about to get trolled in YouTube. But yeah, a lot of people think that you have to come up with stuff whole cloth, like and I don't abide by that philosophy, because when you're at a table with 4 different people, whatever you come up with, given the fact that we're in the 21st century and everyone, I don't care who you are, have at least 3 streaming services that they pay for every month, okay? Everybody's had a Netflix, mostly everybody's got an Amazon, you might have your Shudder, your Disney Plus, your HBO Max, your Apple TV, and there's always YouTube out there, not to mention Nebula, Curiosity Stream, so many, yeah, even Warhammer Plus, although I don't know why people would look at stuff like that, along with, you know, all of the different places, you know, or all of the different channels that you might get. So there's so much content out there that if a person comes up with their original idea, it can be crammed into something that people have seen before. Ooh, I just lost something. Yeah, my computer is being a little wonky right now. Ah, I see what happened. I just lost one of my monitors, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with the fact that I just lost one of my monitors, and yeah, I can live with that. So yeah, as I'm saying, a lot of people still have what I like to call an unwise expectation for people to always have completely original content that, you know, I haven't heard about this before, therefore, you know, I'll be right back. This is getting a little bit odd. So, I'm going to take you guys down to the hobby hall while I fix this problem. Alright. Problem solved. Anyway. Yeah, so a lot of people... oh, man, we're gonna lose someone. Alright, Vixabel. Break a leg at your meeting. But yeah, so... when people think, oh my god, they haven't done the whole thing of coming up with something whole cloth. This is cheating. This is killing my immersion. It's like, look, guys, real talk. When you sit down to play a role-playing game with someone, with anyone, okay, there is an unspoken agreement, okay? And that agreement comes down to, that agreement really comes down to, we're going to go here, we're going to look at a story, we're not going to use our overall knowledge of plot and things like that. Our characters don't know that they're in a story, even if they're a bard, okay? And let's play some games and have some fun. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's not about who's more clever, it's not about beating the GM, it's not about any of that stuff. It's about telling stories and having a little fun with it. It ain't that critical, okay? So yeah, if you guys have seen a lot of media, you can take a scene from another movie that you've seen and your players might not have seen. Now, I'm fortunate because I'm middle-aged, okay? And what does that mean? How does that make me so fortunate? What is this crazy man talking about? Well, it's real simple. I'm middle-aged, which means I grew up on TV that you guys probably haven't seen. I remember obscure shows from the 1980s that you guys probably haven't. Like one of Courtney Cox's first roles in a show called Misfits of Science. I'm talking like shows from the 1970s, you know? I can throw in NPCs that are pastiches from Three's Company or the Mary Tyler Moore Show or the show that they were writing for on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. You get what I mean? So the originality doesn't come from the concept. It's all about what you do with that concept, okay? How you tell it, what voices that you add to the language of the people that are being used. You know, soap operas have been going for years and years and years. Hang on. What is this? Have I ever had someone outsurf a clown to prevent terrorism? Not yet, okay? But quite honestly, in one of my outer space games, yeah, I threw in a whole bunch of I can't believe this complications while someone was trying to get rid of a bomb. And we were talking to children getting in the way, religious zealots on their little parade. Which, I mean, you know, they weren't outright nuns, but they weren't not nuns. You know, and I was trying to push the player to say, you know, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. But yeah, I mean, you know, all of those things are really there. I can tell you, as a person who pays every month for Shudder, there are so many monsters that have been put in movies. I don't care if those movies are top tier or bottom tier, not to mention the stuff from the 1950 creature features, you know, and there are so many different traits and stuff that I can take from all of those things to give plot, you know? I mean, really, is Shudder worth it? Honestly, if you lurb horror movies, yes, it's worth it. I'm really mad at them for not having Tales from the Dark Side, but, you know, they at least have monsters and Tales from the Crypt. But just given that I spent someone's college tuition at the video store renting horror movies when I was a kid, I think it's worth the money. But yeah, so honestly, online is a great resource. You can Google old modules and stuff like that and just read through them. No, the math won't be the same. The systems won't be the same. But I learned this when I was trying to work in Hollywood, okay? And this is like an old backstory, okay? I was told if you want to be an actor, you have to read 3 times more than what you write. Excuse me. And if you want to be a writer, you have to read 10 times more than you write. And I did research, and a lot of the stuff that I loved as a kid, every TV show, every movie, was based on a book from the 1920s, 1930s, 1950s. Like, I know it's not Christmas time, but Die Hard was based on a 150-page novel. And they were trying to do that story in the 1970s, and they were going to make John McClane Frank Sinatra. So real talk, the inspiration and story things you can pull from anywhere. I was super happy when I got the Epic Encounters boxes. I have 2 of them. There's like 4 more that I can get at. I'm not quite sure. Let me see how many more are out there. Let's take a look here. Wow. So let's see. That's 1, 2, bundle, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 6 of these things out there. And real talk, they tend to come in the thing of, you get a bunch of minions and then a boss battle, and then you get a big boss battle. So like with the Cobalt thing that I pulled up, you do all that stuff, you fight the Cobalt Queen, and then the next one that's in that line is you fight more Cobalts and then Dragon or Dagron if you're typing. With this one, the Hall of the Orc King, it's all of those guys and then the big Storm Giant, and I like to collect the little ones, so I get all those miniatures for all the different games that I like playing, because as y'all know, I love model agnostic games. So it's really good value for money, or bang for your buck. But online, there's so many resources for free modules, okay? So many modules. If we do a quick search for RPG modules, free PDFs, there we go. What do we have here? We have, this is just a quick Google search. Drive-Thru RPG has a bunch of them, okay? Whole bunch of them. 18 free campaigns from Dice Cove. 300 plus free modules. WotC, free stuff from RPG Geek. Just so many world building tools and stuff like that. But more to the point, there are so many different resources out there. I always say that there is a triad of production. There is good, there is fast, there is cheap. Those are the 3 pillars. Guess what? You're only ever getting 2. So if you're looking for inspiration for your games and stuff like that, quite literally, there's so many free modules that you can just pluck up and use. Okay, just pluck them up and use them. This is how I have. If I were to print them out, I would say I have about 3 reams of modules that I've written over the past 30 years that I use in my games, and I have another 5 reams of stuff that I've bought and found online. And all of these things have plot points and monsters and locations and weather conditions or weapon conditions or items that you can just pluck out of one and toss into another. So I hope a lot of this stuff has been inspirational for you guys. If you guys have any other questions about what to do this, you can send me an email over at backinthedeck@gmail.com. It's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com, and all the other stuff. Now, I didn't give a shout out to my patrons like Queen Tier, Shannon Boom Boom Lay, Jennifer Kroll, Nolan Allheiler, Laura Holton, Shaylee Watson. Am I missing someone? Laura Holton, Shaylee Watson, Shannon Boom Boom Lay, Jennifer Kroll, Nolan Allheiler, my King Tier, Christopher Chalmers, and Laura Gross, and of course my ace in the hole, Joseph Hines. Thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you guys for helping me get this stuff into kindergartens and getting the after school program up and out of there. And that is it, everybody. That is what we have done. Guess what? We are good. I want you guys to have a really good weekend, okay? Play some games. Look up some games. Paint some miniatures. Just do some stuff that brings you guys some joy, and try and share that joy with somebody in your life. Be it a kid, be it your retired parents, don't care who. Just one of your friends that ain't got nothing to do. Just give it a thought. And with that, though, I want to say thank you guys for showing up. And if anybody tells you that you can't like the stuff that you like, or you can't do any of this stuff because of your circumstances of birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, any of your disabilities or neurodivergencies, or your budget because you're broke, because we all know that there is no housing project that's more than 2 miles away from a trailer park. You can tell them to take any of those cards and put them back in the deck. This is Solar Grey, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying we will see you next time. Join us Monday on the dark side of the room, and then we're going to start doing this all over again, guys. All right, peace. Whew. Do you want lumber, 90 fried chicken? Best friend always sticking up for you, even when I know you're wrong.